They had driven for hours, past the point where the asphalt turned to gravel and then to dirt. 5 friends: Laura, Mark, Sarah, Jake, and Emma. The GPS flagged the secluded location as their final destination, an old cabin nestled in the heart of Blackthorn Forest. The excitement was palpable as they unloaded their bags, joking about the lack of Wi-Fi and the legendary peacefulness of the wilderness. Laura led the charge, her camera already in hand to document the weekend. She aimed the lens at the cabin, capturing the warped wood and faded windows. A shiver passed through her. The house looked as if it had been plucked from a horror movie set. Inside, the cabin revealed its age through creaking floorboards and the faint scent of mildew. Dust particles floated in the beams of sunlight that slanted through cracks in the wooden walls. Mark and Jake set to work building a fire, while Sarah and Emma explored the small rooms upstairs, their laughter reverberating eerily through the empty halls. Night fell, cloaking the forest in a suffocating darkness. The fire crackled, casting dancing shadows. Laura reviewed photos on her camera, her brows furrowing at the last image, a shadow that seemed out of place. A figure standing at the edge of the trees. She dismissed it as an optical illusion or a trick of the light. Outside, a hooting owl was abruptly silenced. The group jumped as the cabin door banged open with a violent force. The friends exchanged uneasy glances but brushed off the incident, blaming the wind. The feeling of being watched settled over them like a heavy fog. They decided to stick together, yet the uneasiness grew. Emma went to fetch more wood but didn't return. Nervous glances quickly turned into frantic searches and desperate calls of her name echoing into the blackness. Jake found her flashlight at the edge of the forest, the light still gleaming into the void. Hours passed, and the once jubilant group sat huddled in fear. Laura discovered a faded newspaper clipping tucked under a loose floorboard, headlines screaming about a series of unsolved disappearances in their very cabin decades ago. The hairs on their necks prickled as they pieced together the horrific history. Strange sounds echoed within the walls, whispers and scratches, creating an oppressive atmosphere that threatened to swallow them whole. Panic set in as the night seemed to stretch into infinity. Just as the first light of dawn crept into the sky, they felt they could take it no longer. Jake ran out of the cabin toward the car, but froze in his tracks, his horrified scream shattering the early morning calm. Emma stood by the tree line, her eyes vacant and her skin pallid under the first rays of daylight. She lifted an arm, pointing back towards the forest, her mouth moving but no sound coming out. An otherworldly presence had taken her, and the others wondered if they would be next, trapped forever in the cursed cabin in the woods.